But it is true that I am a wretch. I have murdered the lovely and the helpless. I have strangled the innocent as they slept and grasped to death his throat, who never injured me or any other living thing. You hate me, but your abhorrence cannot equal that which I regard myself. Spin syllables, soliloquies so simple as these. It's Rick and a Rappin', a podcast with a purpose. I'm King Cooper here with Alex, Flizzo, and the Ben. We are the Funky Four here for your Halloween Spooktacular. Finally, we'll be flipping through Frankenstein. But first, here's a verse from Bobby Pickett's spooky song, Monster Mash. Out from his coffin, Drac's voice did ring. Seems he was troubled by just one thing. Opened the lid and shook his fist and said, "Whatever happened to my Transylvania twist?" Wrecking or rapping, you must choose one.
I'm going to say wrecking.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah, but
yeah.
the Monster Mash, the song, isn't even the Monster Mash.
What do you mean?
Dance that they did.
The Monster Mash.
Yeah, is that so?
Yeah,
Isn't that the Monster Mash, the dance?
Yeah, well, the
I don't know,
monsters
because apparently
did.
they're dancing to the Transylvania twist.
No, they're saying whatever happened to it because it's now the Monster Mash.
But
Yeah,
they
look
don't.
at his other
They
songs.
sing in the song that they're referencing a different song.
They did the mash.
Yeah, they did the Monster Mash. It's kind of a
So
commentary
the
on how fads keep going around. I heard that hippies in the 60s were influenced by 1890s art, and that would be equivalent to us being influenced by 1950s art, which I think a lot of things and, based trad stuff is.
Yeah, the mid-century modern furniture trend is still kind of hot. It's going on the downslope now, but that was pretty hot past 10 years.
I prefer my furniture to be comfortable.
You don't want thin, spindly legs for your furniture that could snap at any moment.
I always liked the egg chair. I first saw it from A Clockwork Orange, but then some bad things happened in that chair, so I never got one. I'm going to move on to Shakespeare now.
The chair from Men in Black.
Men in Black.
Oh, yeah, that's a better reference.
Bobby Pickett has a song called the Transylvania Twist.
Oh, so he's plugging his own stuff. That's very clever of him.
And then he has a whole bunch of songs that are other types of mashes.
Yeah, I imagine once the one
Was he
took
just
off.
a Halloween song guy?
He
does have an album that's the Transylvania Twist on it.
Monster Mash Chronicles.
So those ones are the original Monster Mash is the name of the album. It also has
Can't let us forget.
Blood Bank Blues, Graveyard Shift, Golly Golly.
I've been working the same
Transylvania
shift,
Twist,
and I ain't made it.
Me and My Mummy.
Oh.
The Monster Mash Party. Monsters Holiday.
I mean, this sounds like a CD I gotta listen to.
This sounds like this guy's got problems.
He wrote an entire Halloween.
Well, rest in pieces, Bobby Pickett.
Mm-hmm. There's also a Monster Rap.
No, we're moving on to Hamlet.
I'm just telling you.
This is Act 1, Scene 5. The ghost is speaking. He says, "I am thy father's spirit, doomed for certain term to walk the night, and for the day confined to fast in fires, till the foul crime done in my days of nature are burnt and purged away." So you guys know the gist of Hamlet.
So wait,
his uncle did
the
it.
ghost isn't his dad? It's his dad's spirit? But he didn't say, "I am your father." He said, "I am your father's spirit."
Yeah, they walk the line well of that the ghost isn't his dad. It is a ghost. But we all know the truth.
So, I mean, there's a difference if you say I'm your father and then I'm your father's spirit. Because then it's like, I'm not really flesh and bone. I'm just the ghost of him, right?
There is lore that says modern ghosts exist the way they do because of modern photography. Like, ghosts used to just be normal people, like you would see them again. But because cameras could start taking pictures that would take so long to get the image, that if someone moved, they'd be transparent. And that's where apparently that came from for ghosts.
That makes sense. Well, we're not talking about ghosts today. We're talking about Frankenstein. Hopefully you guys watched up on what happens, because I'm not really going to talk about the plot.
Are we talking about Frankenstein, or are we talking about Adam?
we're mostly going to be talking about the monster who we will address in our second reading.
He is never actually referred to as Adam in the book. There's other stuff. There's like I am Frankenstein. No, not in the book.
Well, he says, I'm the Adam of your labors.
See?
And then he's referred to other things called Adam, like is it I Am Frankenstein? Or there's a bad Frankenstein movie, Modern Frankenstein. His name's Adam Frankenstein in that.
Mary Shelley's Frankenstein from the 1800s. But while we're talking about Adam, so he gives himself this name Adam because, like Adam, I was apparently united by no other link to any existing being, but his state was far different from mine in every other respect. He had come forth from the hands of God, a perfect creature, happy and prosperous, guarded by the especial care of his Creator. He was allowed to converse with and acquire knowledge from beings of a superior nature, but I was wretched, helpless, and alone. So the monster is donning a victim mentality. We all share the loneliness of man and the feeling that we neither asked for or were prepared for this life. But I also want to use this time to talk about nepotism versus self-made, because that's what he's kind of complaining about. He didn't have a parent to teach him.
So he's complaining he's not a nepo baby?
But he's also saying he's the first of his kind, though, and that's why he's donning the name Adam, because there was no others like him before that, much like Adam.
In the book, isn't he supposed to be sexy?
I don't think... This was a time of literature where we didn't have to impose that into everything.
Yeah, but I thought there's a part in the book where he's described like very attractive.
Maybe. I mean, Frankenstein, the doctor, is trying to create a perfect being, I believe, so he would probably have taken that into account.
How could every other adaptation of this guy not be remotely attractive?
Well, they always have a chiseled jaw, very square.
The real answer is because it was written by a woman and people didn't care what she had to say, so they did what they wanted with her material.
Well, her husband was
but even like modern interpretations don't show him as
baseless.
Being like a good-looking guy.
Though.
What was baseless?
Follow her history, dude. Like she had that book updated so many times because of that stuff.
Well, and it was written really short period of time off of a dare over a.
She was also like 16.
I think she was 18, but there was an extended multi-couple adult party vacation happening while she was writing the book.
She does have a weird marriage.
I don't. This is what I don't like about how you guys do literature.
You mean facts?
We don't
facts about history.
It's facts about a person, and Frankenstein is fiction. And so we're extrapolating from that rather than fantasizing about this sinner of a person.
I mean, I'll give into that because I really do hate when people add their own meaning behind things that are written. It's like, oh, there were blue curtains. And the author meant because there's blue curtains, it's a sad room. It's like, no, they just liked the color.
Yeah, and so I'm saying...
I blame schools for that because they used to make you do that stuff all the time. And it'd be like, I don't think there's meaning behind this particular thing, but okay.
Sometimes the problem is because some things there are a meaning behind, but some people then think everything has meaning. It's like, no, I just wanted to...
But
we'll get to that with the veil of perception later.
The original monster was described as attractive because, yes, as the Ben said, he was making the perfect human. But because people then took her work and changed it, that's where we get all these other adaptations. Is because people didn't care that about her as a person when they wrote whatever they wanted to with her artwork.
I mean, she changed it too, and there was a bunch of things.
What do you think the copyright laws were in the 1800s?
I think
there probably wasn't any.
No, Beauty and the Beast is an old myth. So how did Disney owns that now? But it's just a human. Oh, all right, well, I get in some sense you can say that, but
they own part 2.
Try producing your own Beauty and the Beast movie and see if Disney will come after you.
I mean, you just couldn't call it Beauty and the Beast.
Yes, you could. There was a TV show. There was a TV show not that long ago. There's been several TV shows about it. I can't make my own Finding Nemo, but I can go make a Beauty and the Beast.
Those TV shows might have been on ABC though. So.
Yeah. But it's still like the definitive version. And that's what I'm saying, is like there are versions older than it as well.
That's what you associate it. Like,
no, but I mean, he's right. You're not going to make a Frankenstein story and it's not going to, like, nowadays have bolts in the neck and have a definitive understanding of what.
Yeah. It's like, well, why does he have green skin?
What was that one Frankenstein? Is it I Am Frankenstein? Yeah, there was a 2017 Beauty and the Beast.
No one knows what you're referencing.
It was a bad movie. No one saw it.
Yeah, it was a bad movie.
Let's read some more Frankenstein then. So the first reading I had prepared was about the monster's feelings of being born to this world. It is with considerable difficulty that I remember the original era of my being. All the events of that period appear confused and indistinct. A strange multiplicity of sensations seized me, and I saw, felt, heard, and smelt at the same time. And it was indeed a long time before I learned to distinguish between the operations of my various senses. By degrees, I remember, a stronger light pressed upon my nerves, so that I was obliged to shut my eyes. Darkness then came over me and troubled me, but hardly had I felt this when, by opening my eyes, as I now suppose, the light poured in upon me again. So we've all gone through the same process of being born, but we weren't articulate at the time to explain it. He had to judge, are things wrecking or wrapping? But his terms are light and dark.
I don't think he would have the ability to comprehend that.
Shelley described him as 8 feet tall.
Oh. What would he not be able to describe?
Like, if you were just coming to be,
well, I guess he remembers it. But he was born an adult man, or thing like that, with adult man body parts. And also he came back to life, reborn. The monster is having an existential crisis. And from the etymology of existential, not to be confused with epistemology, the monster is having an existence crisis. Have you ever...
What's epistemology?
It was one of the words we covered 2 weeks ago on the episode. It was just me, but it's the study of knowledge. How do we know things? How can we know what we know?
He was made of beautiful pieces. Dr. Frankenstein's intention was to make a perfect creature, man.
Yeah, he was a sexy guy.
He was intended. He was made of beautiful pieces, but put together and reanimated.
He was super sexy.
That's what
if you cut up a bunch of paintings from the Louvre and stitch them together, you're not going to get a beautiful artwork. You're going to get a
Banksy
mess.
Went and took actual art and pasted it all together, people would probably be like, "This is beautiful."
No. He said it formed a horrible contrast with the watery eyes that appeared, that seemed almost of the same color as the
well, apparently
dun
you have to
white
go through
sockets.
And just read the whole Frankenstein and then give us a synopsis later.
No, I sent you guys the summary to begin with.
The intention was to make him beautiful, but instead...
But this is also beauty judged by a crazy man because he's digging up body parts.
Why is he crazy?
He's digging up body parts and stitching them together. That's not normal behavior.
Would you say Ben Franklin was crazy?
Probably.
But sure, yeah. If you push me to it.
If anything, he was a drunk.
He drank a lot. Yes, he didn't take up body parts.
He wasn't a drunk.
You don't just dig up a body part. You have to dig up the whole body. You can't selectively dig up.
I thought he got cadavers.
Ben Franklin, he got a lot of cadavers and then buried them in his yard. I think
that's different from digging them up.
I think some of them they dug up. They had to exhume because you weren't allowed to do anything.
Did the same thing. He got cadavers to learn about muscle.
So we're saying the conclusion is
you weren't allowed to do any.
The old timey people like to mess around with dead bodies. That's
because
weird.
You weren't allowed to study the human a corpse or anything. So you had to do it in secrecy. Well, science? Are you saying science is crazy?
I guess we've just gotten weak in our tastes that we don't deal with the dead bodies anymore like we used to. Where if it was a situation where it's like, bring out your dead, then we wouldn't mind just throwing one on our table and dissecting. Or if your neighbor did it.
That's what was against the rules. That's why they had to do it in secret, because you weren't allowed to do that.
That's what a wake is.
I mean, there's people that do it now.
Dig up bodies or study them?
No. Body brokers. They'll get people to donate their bodies to science. They'll bring them to hotel conference rooms and show a live dissection.
Are you saying they I thought you were going to say they weekend at Bernie them. Like they'll bring in this body with them into the hotel and...
people pay to like go to these live autopsies, and then somebody cuts up some person's body.
People are happy to donate their bodies to science. If you're enjoying the show, please leave a comment. We'd love for you to join the conversation. We've even got a Discord to join. Link in the description.
Very close
in the show
to the
notes,
Purge.
I'm told.
I like the Purge.
All right. Yes, we all love the Purge. My third reading.
I like the Purge movie.
Oh, I meant the idea of blowing off some a year.
Movies. I enjoyed the movies.
Well, speaking of purging,
that's
in our
a good
third
question
reading,
to ask people: what side of the Purge would you be on?
The living or the unlived?
No, what would you do on the night of the Purge?
Oh, yeah. Well, you never know until you're in the situation.
Well, that's the question.
Though.
Would you just stay home? Yeah, this is a conversation we've had.
So this will be Frankenstein's monster had just unlifed Frankenstein, and he's surrounded by some villagers, and stuff's getting heavy. He says, "But it is true that I am a wretch. I have murdered the lovely and the helpless. I have strangled the innocent as they slept and grasped to death his throat, who never injured me or any other living thing. I have devoted my creator, the select specimen of all that is worthy of love and admiration among men, to misery. You hate me, but your abhorrence cannot equal that which I regard myself." We are all sinners.
Hates himself more than other people hate him.
Yeah, he knows the deeds he did. One of the things is he kidnaps a young boy and, like he said, strangled. Some might call him crazy, but I understand the Ben wouldn't like to label that. But here's where we also ask, who is the real monster, Adam or Frankenstein?
Adam's still the real monster. He's strangling little kids. So.
Frankenstein's a bad guy, though. Maybe.
Victor?
Well, so... And the part with calling Frankenstein a bad guy is the condemning his creator is the same thing humans do when they curse God.
Yeah, like why is Frankenstein a bad guy when he tried to bring life into the world?
Yeah, he's just
the perfect being from his
tried to manipulate life
calculations.
Well, he didn't try to manipulate life. He didn't try to bring someone back from the dead. He tried to create a new.
In Christianity, the only person that can make life is God. So he tried to play God, and that's what makes him a bad person.
Yeah,
I mean,
but then
it's all through the lens of Christianity.
Is having a baby, is that creating life?
No, because God told Adam and Eve to be fruitful. So that would be following God's plan, I guess.
The real problem here is this is all through the lens of Christianity. If you were to view it from a different lens, Dr. Frankenstein might not be a bad person.
Was Dr. Frankenstein being fruitful by creating life?
What was his doctorate in?
It was a different time because it was like when university was cool. So they were just these castles that very weird men would lock themselves in and do whatever sort of experiments they liked.
I think people would call them kings. The ones that locked themselves
maybe
in
they
castles.
Weren't kings yet, like they were the sons of kings.
Those are princes.
Princes? Lords?
Yeah, but I don't know, whatever dukes and earls get involved with.
Yeah. The characteristics you're listing, those people have names.
Please take a moment to subscribe or follow the channel. Alex, is anything wrecking your week?
I forgot to do that last week.
I'm glad it's
I was going to complain about something else, but then I think the thing I'm going to say now is sight gags on a visual medium.
You mean an audio medium?
Yeah, sorry, an audio medium.
Yeah, visual gags on an audio medium.
Sight gags.
You mean like a bunch of guys wearing
masks? Yeah, dressing up in costumes for a podcast,
or like removing a mask to reveal a second mask.
Yeah, but like you're doing a sight gag that maybe a handful of people might notice.
So dislike that?
I just like how uncomfortable this mask is.
Oh, but we're supposed to dance like nobody's watching.
People can tell me otherwise in the comments on YouTube that they actually watch this, and then makes it all worth it.
Yes, please leave your comment on who has the best costumes. Rank us.
Wait, are you saying that I could be replaced?
Chris through
worst.
Say
if I wasn't always wearing a mask, the same person would have to be Ben every week.
Oh,
so
no, well that's
true.
That's an extremely meta concept, but
it also makes it easier to have the Ben as AI.
Again, though, it's an audio medium. He has the same voice.
But it also isn't an audio medium anymore. It only was an audio medium because bandwidth was limited, and now Spotify likes to promote the video portion of it as well. So they're trying to grow it to a video. I think younger generations see it as more of a video because it's available. They're always looking at their phone. We had like the iPod Nano.
Whoa. I had the original iPod.
Well, didn't have video, did it?
The second
No.
So
is there any zeroing in we can do, Xander, to make an adjustment, Alex, on your rec of the week? Being
how many different
the
names
visuals?
are you going to use for me?
the Sultan of the Swing.
Are you that's my bit.
I know. The Delco Dilf, the Ben.
the Banjo Man.
Banjo Man. Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, Banjo. I made my own meme the other year, and because I post every day, one time a day. I had a meme that I didn't post today that was a picture of a broken banjo and just the words above it that says, "I broke my banjo," and it's just a thing because it's like, why can't everything be a meme?
I think everything can be a meme.
I don't think that's a meme.
I don't think there's a joke.
Why isn't it a meme?
It's not a meme.
Well,
but that's
was there?
I love anti-jokes.
It can be.
An anti-joke. That's just something.
I think it posted an anti-joke. I don't think it's a meme though, because
not a joke.
So meme is an idea or behavior that spreads.
Yeah, if we trace it to that, I think.
What about
Alex spreading it is now?
You got to make it catch on.
Yeah.
Make it catch on.
But does it have to go beyond us three?
When something happens, you could all just say, "Oh, I broke my banjo."
Stop trying to make fetch happen.
Zimmy Zam Boomafoo. Hey, Flizzo, do you know anything that happened this week in history?
Stop trying to make banjo happen.
So this week in 1945, United Nations formed. So 29 countries ratified the agreement with the United Nations, and they formed in October of 1945. And now they're a powerhouse of saying to not do stuff.
Yeah, they kind of stacked deck as well for the superpowers to kind of just control the little guys.
Especially when Superman comes in. I don't know why he listens to United Nations.
He's not an Earthling.
Why does he listen to anybody? And the same reason. Superman, in theory, could just do whatever he wants.
Because he's a guest on our planet.
He definitely follows the UN. He goes to the UN a lot, and he's like, "All right, I'll help you guys do these things." What's it, Superman 3? They get rid of all nuclear missiles? Or is that 4?
I think it's 3 with the Atomic Man as the bad guy. Quest for Peace?
If you're ready to unplug from the Matrix, I'll let you know. Superman, it's American propaganda.
And no.
Yeah?
That's Captain America.
He's Jewish.
Yeah, Superman was created to give hope to minorities and people who are being subjected.
Superman is the
America doesn't do that?
Yeah.
Well, I guess. I mean,
but he's
the American dream.
Yeah, he was
created.
He's not
American propaganda.
He was created by
the American dream is American propaganda.
He was created by two Jewish people, 2 Jewish kids, who then had the rights stolen from them as well. Yeah, he just represents he is the ultimate immigrant. He comes from somewhere else. He can do anything, but he instead chooses to help the people, to work together to a better society.
So you're saying better. Superman is American immigrant propaganda?
So I want to zero in on the word American dream. Why is a dream a good thing? That in itself has already been reprogrammed. That we have dreams.
Why is a dream a good thing? Because you can do things in your dreams.
Didn't we go over this with Alex, where you have to go pursue something?
No, but the word dream, a dream is just a thing that happens while you're asleep. Yes, it doesn't necessarily be a goal in the future through time. You have to learn that meaning to dream.
Because it's not
that's what the American dream is. It's a goal.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. It's all propaganda. A dream is what happens when you go to sleep.
So what we're saying also
is a goal that you sometimes have is your dream.
It can be.
You dreamt it.
That's a social construct.
Dreams are things
synonymous with hope. Then
because you fly in your dreams, you can't fly in real life. You hope you could fly, so that's what dreams are.
That's
how you want to obtain it.
Fly has led people to make airplanes. jetpacks and vertical landing and takeoff vehicles. Yeah, so like that dream of flying has pursued or has helped people pursue their goals.
Yes.
So I mean,
that's exactly
it's their dream, and they could achieve it
by having that in your sleep, and then you try to achieve it in real life. That's a dream. That's the American dream.
Can look up the etymology of dream to see when we started.
I think we just
using it in that context.
Bad guys whose dreams are to do bad things.
It's true.
I mean, it's all related to the individual.
The dream doesn't have to be positive or good.
Yeah, Ben, do you have an obscure movie fact for us this week? Okay, then we'll move on to the Bible.
Let's talk about the Noid.
Noid?
What was the Noid's deal? Why did
Pizza Hut?
The Noid.
Yeah, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
Domino's.
Pizza Hut's Noid.
Oh, okay.
Domino's.
But what's his deal? I don't know. He's just a marketing
why
thing.
Why did a pizza place have a mascot?
Yes, and why did you avoid the Noid? He ruins pizza.
Why did he get a video game?
Because it rhymed.
What did he do? Like, what was...
He would ruin fresh pizza.
He was red, and there was a green Noid at one point, too. I don't know if that was just because you needed 2 players in the video game, but...
part of the lore.
Why did the Noid exist? We can rank the monster serial characters, too.
I thought you were going to talk about serial characters, but just the 3 of them.
Mine. 3 of them.
3. All right, no, there's 3 of them. I'm not getting down with this. Pluto's not a planet. There's a new way of saying the ABCs. There are 3 cookie monsters, cereal monsters.
No, there's 1 cookie monster. There's 6 cereal monsters. We can also talk about
the cookie monster.
We can talk about Digum too, and
all right.
So honeycomb
Bible. I just need to know what Chris's 3 are.
Blueberry, Frankenberry, Count Chocula.
Fruit.
Who?
Nope,
you're speaking gibberish to me. This
is
Genesis 2:7.
What about Yummy Mummy?
And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. From dust to living soul. And here I can talk about the 3 books Frankenstein left in his jacket pocket, which Adam, the monster, was reading through the story of Frankenstein. The 3 books he found: Milton's Paradise Lost, which we have talked about on this show, a volume of Plutarch's Lives of the Noble Greeks and Romans, and Gothe's The Sorrow of Young Werther. So Paradise Lost actually has a blurb in the beginning of this Frankenstein, which I have said on Paradise Lost, when it comes to English speakers, this is the best epic poetry we've got. So here it is. Did I request thee, maker, from my clay to mold me man? Did I solicit thee from darkness to promote me? That's the kind of stuff the monster was struggling with in the story.
Right. First question is, who carries 3 books in their jacket? Just read one at a time.
Plutarch's book is like 2,000 pages long.
If you're 8 feet tall,
the question is,
how deep are those
pockets? Owns 3 books?
Well, he was a doctor of some sort, so that's why he had so many books.
3 books for Kim. 3 books for Kim.
Don't read him 3 books.
3 books.
All right. Well, speaking of the number 3, we're on number 3 of the 50 philosophy ideas you really need to know, and this is the veil of perception, which is our ideas, which are all that we have direct access to, form an impenetrable veil of perception between us and the outside world. So this is John Locke's idea. But it can also be called the Cartesian theater. So that is René Descartes is Cartesian, because in Descartes, the mind is effectively a stage on which ideas, perceptions, are viewed by an inner observer, the immaterial soul. And I think Jordan Peele's Get Out did a really great visualization of this Cartesian theater when he's under the hypnotist and looking up at the screen. But we also start getting into debates in philosophy, the Hegelian dialectic going back and forth. So the problem with the Cartesian theater is it requires an inner observer, that little person sitting in the chair. But then the person in the chair has to have an inner observer in their head as well. So on and so on for infinity.
Carmela Creeper.
Is that a cereal?
Yes. Caramel apple.
I refute this was a line read by Boswell's The Life of Samuel Johnson. Striking his foot with mighty force against a large stone, he exclaimed, "I refute this." So that is in reference to this idea of the veil of perception saying that all is the Matrix, that reality isn't real. And if you believe that, then stomp your foot against a rock and tell the rock that it doesn't exist. The rock will kick back.
If you stop the rock enough, the rock will cease to exist.
Stone Cold stopped the rock. He didn't cease to exist.
No, but I mean, like, you can stomp a stone until it like, you can just smash a rock with your foot.
Oh, the Undertaker come in and smash the rock.
Finally, a quote from John Locke. No man's knowledge can go beyond his experience.
Is that true?
No.
Yes, it can.
I mean, you can learn things you haven't done.
Yeah, you read books. Not every doctor has done brain surgery.
That would be your experience. When you're learning it, would be your experience.
Like, you didn't experience the thing.
I guess the real question is, what's your experience? Is reading a book an experience? And all the things inside of the books, your experience, or do you need to go out and climb Mount Everest?
With like when you have management that tells you how to do something, they're like, "Oh, well, the book says this is how you should do it." It's like, yeah, but you've never done it, so you shouldn't be the one telling me how to do this thing.
You don't have actual
practical experience. But they're in charge and they're smarter. Like, I don't think reading is experience. Yeah,
theoretical.
So John Locke is wrong.
Yep.
Well, that's what we were saying. We refute this.
John
Locke what can't ever be wrong is one of these math cards for 24. The numbers are 5,
I can make 4, it wrong real easy.
8, 4.
All right, I got it.
Okay.
8 minus 4 is 4. Then 4 times 5, 20. Then plus 4, 24.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's not 6 times 4.
Yummy.
Oh, I'm sorry, Alex. Maybe next week we'll have a 6 times 4.
There's a Monster Mash cereal with all of them together.
That sounds
like Oops
terrible.
All Berries. Oops All Monsters.
I mean, it might not be that bad. I don't know. It's just a bunch of fruit flavors.
Is there really a difference between Oops All Berries and normal Crunch Berries?
Yeah,
there's the yellow ones.
Is there a difference between the yellow pieces and the berries really that different?
Yeah, definitely. Never eaten regular Captain Crunch and just like not eating the yellow bits?
What would be worse is if you'd mix in some peanut butter Captain Crunch in there.
That'd be disgusting.
Yeah.
I had strawberry frosted flakes
flavors.
This week. It was not worth it.
I love the strawberry milkshake frosted flakes, and they're usually on sale because people don't like them.
You know what's good? All flavors of Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
No. All of the flavors? Yeah, they've got tres leches and dulce leches.
No.
Like
cinnamon toast
churro, I think.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch tacos.
Yeah, I've realized cereal has given up on being anything of like normal food, and it's just snacks now. Because I've seen like Twinkie cereal.
I mean,
little Twinkies.
Those Reese's cereal,
like Reese's Pop.
You can't be eating chocolate for breakfast.
Why not?
Maybe I need for breakfast.
Check out Mama of 3 Boutique on Etsy for all your Philly Pride needs. Use promo code WRECKING to save 10%. Find Flizzo on Instagram. That's PHLIZO. Follow Alex on Google Maps. All links in the description. My website, drawingmylifeaway.com. Thank you for listening. I hope you have a nice day. Goodbye.
Adios. Yummy mommy.
Adios.